for You starts now.
Shock and grief here at Fox 2 tonight as we mourn the death of one of our own.
Ron Savage passed away suddenly today. He was our co-worker and above all our friend. Fox 2's Camila Miri live now in front of the Milford Fire Department with more. Camila.
Well, good evening. It's so hard to put this into words. Ron was doing a training exercise for the Milford Fire Department. It was routine. It was something he'd done many times. And unfortunately, it was going to be the last time.
So much for winter, that's gone.
Yeah, goodbye.
Feels more like April, maybe summer coming right now.
We are definitely spoiled.
Ron Savage, weekend anchor and reporter at Fox 2 and paid on-call Milford firefighter, died on Saturday at the age of 63. Ron had just completed a routine search and rescue training exercise. These pictures taken just a short time before he collapsed.
He was congratulating everybody in his group that they did successful completion, and with no issue stated or anything, unfortunately he collapsed. Immediately it was recognized that Ron had a medical issue, and immediately everybody went into action to get the rest of his gear off, to assess the situation, and to treat it as needed.
But Chief Moore says there was nothing they could do. Ron had gone into cardiac arrest. He was pronounced dead at Huron Valley Hospital.
I can't say enough about Ron. You know, Ron was a great person to have around. He was a great person to talk to. He was a great resource.
Larger than life in stature and in personality, Ron was friends with everyone he met.
When Ron spoke, you knew it. I mean, it was like Ron had a megaphone on him. There was no inside voice, at least not that I know of.
Down to earth and humble, always compassionate.
A high school boy with all the promise in the world is shot and killed. It's heart-wrenching and horrible, but be advised, those lines, you never know if they're charged or not. We can tell by confirming with DTE that severed line has no power in it, but it's very hot anyway, and you can see it smoking.
Ron loved life, and it loved him right back.
No one hurt. That's the best news. The power's out. We're on the west side of Detroit. Ron Savage, Fox 2 News.
And tonight, our hearts go out to Ron's family, his friends, all of the viewers, all of us. Our hearts are breaking. There's really nothing else I can say, but he will be so missed. We loved him so much. I'm going to send it back to you.
Camille, you are so right. What an incredible man. What a real-life hero. What a great example for all of us. Camille, were there any warning signs that he had a heart problem?
No, not at all. In fact, that was one of the things that's hard to put your head around and wrap around, because I talked to the chief and he said that one of the things that all the firefighters have to do is do a rigorous physical. They go through all this testing. His was in August. He passed everything. EKG, no signs of anything at all. He was 63 years old, but we would never know it because he was in such good health. He was so full of life, so vigor. He worked 7 days a week between the TV station and the fire department. And of course, he was a very active father and very active with all of his volunteering. But really, the chief made a good point. He said you could go through that physical and be perfectly healthy today, but that physical isn't going to say what's going to happen tomorrow or the next week or the next month. So, of course, the medical examiner will be doing an autopsy to determine the exact cause of death, but we do know right now that his heart stopped and he never came back.
Well, our hearts and prayers go out to Ron and his family and to his brothers at the Milford Fire Department as well. Camille, thank you. Of course, Ron meant so much to so many people.
He was so involved in the community, and he touched so many lives in his 63 years.
$250? That's very kind of you, very generous.
Friday afternoon, Ron Savage working the phones for the Salvation Army, raising money for their Bed and Bread campaign. He was not only a fantastic journalist, but a true public servant.
Hi, I'm Ron Savage, here with my friends, Easter Seals Michigan ambassadors Gabby and Duncan.
Ron gave so much of his time to volunteer work in the community, each year emceeing the American Lung Association's Fight for Air climb at the Renaissance Center. He was scheduled to be there Sunday morning. Savage was also a dedicated firefighter, most recently with Milford, but also served with Brighton and Walled Lake. He was a loving husband of 28 years to his wife Mitzi and an incredibly proud father.
Well, you've got to do some serious thinking before you leave this room, Mr. Fuzzy Pants.
Is that funny?
That's Ron reading to his young son Ronnie, now 15 years old, already an accomplished athlete, much like his dad. Ron Savage was born in Highland Park, grew up in Detroit and Fowlerville with his parents and 4 siblings. He played semi-pro football in Lansing, Memphis, and North Carolina.
Well, last time I played any organized football was 10 years ago with the Lansing Capitals of Michigan semi-pro team.
And started at Fox 2 in 1999. He was a huge Detroit sports fan.
Go Tigers! Go Tigers! Go Tigers!
Another of Ron's passions, his support of local law enforcement. As the weekend anchor at Fox 2 for 18 years, he helped capture thousands of criminals through Michigan's Most Wanted.
We need justice on this one. 18 years is a long time.
Ron was truly larger than life. At 6'5" with a booming voice and loud, infectious laugh, he was quick with a joke, a smile, and a compliment, constantly telling his co-workers, top job. When he started at Fox 2 in 1999, his first day covering a devastating fire and explosion at the Ford Rouge plant.
I spoke with a family member of a victim here tonight.
Just last week, he was memorializing the legendary Mike Ilitch.
We're here on Woodward Avenue, and the message on the marquee at the Fox Theater, a life well lived.
A life well lived is certainly fitting for Ron Savage as well. Top job, dear friend, and thank you for your service. You will be greatly missed. We've just heard from so many people who feel that way.
Yes, indeed. So many, I mean, from all over the country. And, of course, from right here at the station.
Yes.
Fox 2 General Manager Mike Rinder released this statement on behalf of everyone here. Quote, "We are shocked and saddened to hear of the passing of our colleague, Ron Savage. Ron was a shining example of an individual who gave everything he had to his family, community, and to Fox 2. He was a consummate professional, serving as both our weekend anchor and late evening reporter. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family and friends at this difficult time."
And Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard was one of Ron's good friends as well. Today he took to Twitter saying, quote, "Such a punch to the gut, kind, dedicated, and caring. We lost one of the good guys. Rest in peace, Ron." Sheriff Bouchard spoke with us on the phone earlier tonight.
My condolences, prayers, and thoughts to his family, who he was incredibly passionate about. We spoke a lot about it. And to all of his coworkers, not only at Fox 2, but at the fire department in Milford. You know, I mean, he cared about both places deeply. It showed in everything he did. He was completely passionate about giving back to the community. He was our MC at different award days and fallen hero stuff. And, you know, you ask him something and he'd be there. And he always came with a smile and a warmth and a civility, you know, that seems to be sometimes too lacking in today's world.
So true. And Sheriff Bouchard says he wants to recognize Ron Savage as a fallen hero.
Macomb County Executive Mark Hackel knew Ron Savage for many years, and he says he'll always remember Ron as a great supporter of public safety.
When you think about Ron, not only was he a good reporter, he was a great public safety supporter. And I know that firsthand from being in law enforcement all these years and watching him cover some of the stories that we had. He was one of those guys, and one of the terms he always used was, you know, this is huge, that's huge, you're huge. You know, but you think of a guy like him, not only was he big in stature, but big in personality. And let's just face it, this is going to be a huge loss for many of us. He really was a true gentleman, and, you know, my condolences to the family.
Hackel says Ron connected with people from every walk of life and was passionate about everything he did. And the Detroit Police Department also tweeted out this message today, quote, "Ron will always be remembered for his compassion and dedication not only to Detroiters, but to all whose lives he touched. He will be missed."
He touched so many lives, you know, I mean, from all these different walks of life, the people that he met, whose stories he covered, you know, all of those charities that he was involved with, certainly the firefighters, certainly his own wife and his son, who he was so proud of. I mean, and all of us, I mean, we're heartbroken.
No question about it. I mean, his personality filled the room. It filled the station. Whenever he came here, you knew he was here. Whenever he called your name, he always had a kind word. I never heard Ron any day speak in a mean or divisive way to anybody.
No, I mean, he truly was the nicest guy you'd ever meet. I mean, what you saw here was what you got everywhere. I mean, he was that special.
And he always had a way of lifting you up even in the most difficult times. Ron, we're going to miss you so much.